Hello everyone! So thank you for coming back to my channel. Today we are going to test out some L'Oreal products and do a full face using nothing but L'Oreal products and L'Oreal products that I already own. So I have not gone out and purchased anything. I am missing some things that I would normally do on a daily basis, such as contour, eyeliner, eyeshadow. But we're going to use some of the other products that I already have and see if we can make them work to get a full face look using nothing but L'Oreal. Is go ahead and moisturize my face. I did just wash my face, so we are going to use the L'Oreal Bright Reveal. Alright, so the reason that you want to put moisturizer on your face before you get started is you want to make sure if you have any, loose skin or dry skin on your face, that you moisturize that and hold it down. So that way when you start putting foundation, using brushes and sponges, it doesn't lift that loose or dry skin from your face. I'm now going to prime my face using Magic Lumi. And this is also, again, from L'Oreal. And it's a light infused primer. So you can use this primer just to highlight certain areas of your face that you want to draw more light to, or you can use it as an all-over primer. And I typically do need a primer because my face is pretty oily. I will say this isn't my favorite primer, but it definitely does have light infusing properties. So we are going to just put this only in areas that I typically get a little more oily, but also areas that you don't mind having a little extra shine in. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let that sit in. Now that I've let the primer set in for a few minutes, we're going to start with our foundation, and we're going to use the Lumi Cushion Foundation by L'Oreal, and I have the color Creamy Natural. This product's a little gimmicky, I will tell you that. And when I first got it and I tested it out, I was like, oh, this is not a good product. However, you don't always have to use these little crappy sponges and things like that that come with them. However, this one's like super soft. It feels like it would put on your foundation really smoothly. For me, it just wasn't picking up enough product. So when you open it, it has a little mirror in it. And then when you open it here, it also has a sealer to keep that foundation wet. Because this foundation, like it says, it is in a sponge. So you can see here, you press down the sponge and you pick up the product like that. So my suggestion is not to use the sponge. I'm going to go ahead and use a Real Techniques Beauty Blender. And we're just going to start patting this on. The reason I like using a beauty blender is this more so pushes the foundation into your pores and into your skin versus using a brush. When you use a brush, it's going to smear it across your face, which certain foundations, like really thick full coverage foundations, typically a brush does apply those a little bit better. This foundation is a little more sheer, and therefore my sponge seems to work a little better. And this foundation, when it dries, it doesn't give you a real matte finish. It gives you more of a dewy finish that looks a little more natural. It just depends on your preference. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit more under my eyes just because they tend to get a little dark under there. Alright. And I really do think this foundation does cover pretty well. So, you might want to try it out. Next, we are going to use this Magic Lumi. L'Oreal really likes their illuminating products. I will tell you, most of the products I have today are illuminators. So I'm going to have a very glowy face. So it's got this little brush on the end, and you twist it, and as you can see, the product will come out there. So we're going to go ahead and put this in areas that you would want to highlight on your face. And the reason you want to highlight these areas is to draw more attention to them and brighten them, such as like under the eye. You want to brighten it because most people do tend to get a little darker under there, and it makes you look more awake. So I'm also going to highlight a little bit across the tip of my nose, right here above my Cupid's bow. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Beauty Blender again. I'm going to use the pointed end this time. The sponge is clean, by the way. It's just stained because I use it for everything. So I'm dab that in. And we're just blending this out so that way you don't see where the two products were. And I'll bring you in a little closer so you can see. Definitely look a little more brighter under my eyes, which is what I'm going for. I want to look awake. Now we're at the point where I would normally contour my face. However, I do not have any L'Oreal contouring or dark powders, so, or any light powders for that, so I can't set under the eye or powder down my face. So again, we're just going to have a very shiny, luminous goddess face today. But what I do have, and I'm going to be a little inventive, is we are going to use this brow kit from L'Oreal, and which is kind of cool. And I have used this a lot of times to fill in my brows, but today we're going to contour with it, which I have never done. But I guess I can use the little mirror that's on here. So I'm going to protect my hair back. And I'm using a real technique brush, but makeup still all L'Oreal. And the reason I like to contour my face is to bring a little more dimension to it. I have a very round face, and that tends to look one-dimensional. So by contouring the outers of my face, I can draw those areas back and make my face seem not quite as wide. And I don't know, just looks better. Because I have a small forehead, I do not shade in this area. However, if you have a large forehead, if you shade in around your hairline in that area, it can make your forehead look a little bit smaller. Completely up to you. But this is actually working all right. I'm not hating this, y'all. So what I'm doing is I'm just rubbing this along my under my cheekbone, which would typically be the hollows of your face. However, I have a very plump face and a very plump everything else. So I don't have a hollow. So I typically just pull my face over so I can see where the natural line would be. And I'm also going to shade a little bit underneath my face, drawing right along where my face would typically end. This helps hide some double chin action that I got going on. All right. So now let me get a little bit up here. And I will pull you in a little closer so you can see. I think that worked pretty good for a contour. So now that I have the cheekbones done, I'm going to grab a smaller brush, and I like to shade in along my nose to narrow that and draw more attention towards the center of my nose than the outer part, because I have a really wide nose, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, love yourself. I love myself. Nose look a little slimmer and a little more contoured. And you love yourself more that way, then do it. If you don't want to, don't. If you already have a very narrow nose, you might not want to do this, because then it might make your nose look a little too small. And I pulled that darker shade down under my nose just to kind of lift it a little bit. Another little trick is if you have large nostrils, you can add a little bit of a darker shade towards the corners of your nostrils, and it will narrow those down as well. So, all right, so now we are fully contoured, and now I will do my blush. And this is the L'Oreal True Match blush, and this is in the color blush. Alright, so I got a little brush here, and I am going to run my blush kind of along the top of my contour line. I don't want to pull it too much onto my cheeks because then it accentuates my cheeks even more. And for me personally, I'd like to make them not have quite as much attention because they're already quite big. I've actually been using this blush for a couple years. This is one of my favorite blushes. I like it because it's a lighter color, so you can build on it. You can do it really mild if you want, or you can add to it and make it a lot darker. So I like that. The next step I'm going to do on my face is to use my Illuminator, and I am using the L'Oreal Lumi, and this is the True Match Powder Glow Illuminator. And this is my favorite one. I actually have two of these colors, but this one is my favorite. And let me see if it says the color on here. This is the Rose palette. The palette does come with its own little brush, which is in here. I mean, this brush is okay. I mean, you can certainly use this brush. I prefer to use a fan brush just because I can do it a little lighter and build on it without, you know, getting too much highlight on there too quickly. So I just kind of swirl around a little bit. You can blow off the excess if you want, and then I'm just going to go right along the top of that cheek, and you can see that nice glow that it's giving me. Now, depending on how much highlight you want, you can certainly add it to your forehead, your chin. I typically don't do that. I'll add a little bit to the tip of my nose and a little bit above my Cupid's bow. And this brush is kind of wide there, so I just kind of squeeze it together and get it on there. So I'll pull you a little closer so you can see the highlight up close. So I like that highlight very much. I'm going to move on to my brow. And today I'm going to use the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. And this again is in a light color. This is probably a little bit better for blonde hair versus brown hair. But I get nervous to get my brows too dark. I kind of have thick eyebrows. They're not long enough though. I wish they would get a little longer. But I'm just going to fill this in a little bit. And it does have a little spoolie on the end, so you can brush over it. What I like about this little brush, if it was a darker color, you could fill in a little bit more along the front and exaggerate the line, draw them out a little bit more. However, this color is a little light, so it doesn't work so great for that, for me. I'm going to keep you here. It's amazing how filling in a brow just makes your whole face look more complete, in my opinion. I'm also going to use a little bit of the brow stuff that we used on our face today. I'm going to get some of the gel, or the, what's it called? Wax. The wax. I'm going to use some of the brow wax just to kind of set my brow, and this will also darken it just slightly. But by using a brow wax, you're setting your hair so they don't go all willy willy on you during the day. All right. So I think we're looking pretty good so far. Next, we are going to start with the eyes. And I do not have any eyeshadow at all from L'Oreal. So these are the products we are going to use in lieu of eyeshadow today. I'm going to start with a highlight color because I typically like to highlight under my brow and also the inner corners of my eye. Plus some of the darker shades on here are really good for an all over shadow color. So let me grab a brush. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the highlight. By highlighting under your brow, you're just lifting your brow, which I like. Why? I don't know. I don't know why lifting your brow is a good thing, but it is in the beauty world. All right. Get a little more in the corners of my eye. By highlighting a little bit in the corners of your eye, just brightens your eyes. Again, we're all about brightening the eye area until we get to mascara and eyeliner and shadow, because we all know we love a smoky eye. And we'll pack on that black shadow. Well, at least I know I do. Alright, so now we have some light highlight. Now I'm going to use the darker shade up here and put that all over my lid, which is a pretty like rose metallic color. So I think it works pretty good as an eyeshadow. Again, we're going for Glowy Goddess today. So I think I'm going to dust on a little bit of this blush and just make the lids a little pinker. All right, that's looking pretty good if I do say so myself. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a shadow using this brow powder along my eyelid crease. Got a little fallout from that. By doing this, we're just adding a little bit of dimension to the eyes. Obviously, we want dimension everywhere. We want to darken and lighten and all kinds of stuff to our face. I'm also going to put a little bit of this under my eye. I got a little creasing going on. Alright, so it's not a dramatic eye look, but it's going to have to work. So now it's time for eyeliner. I don't have any L'Oreal eyeliner, but what I do have is this Volumous, oh goodness, I can't talk. This black mascara from L'Oreal. So if you have not seen this hack before, you are now. I'm just going to take a little brush and I'm just going to collect, typically on the end of your spoolie is a good area to get some black mascara. And I'm going to take that black mascara and I am just gonna rub it on with this brush. Now, I would not suggest this on a daily basis, but if you're in a pinch and you need some eyeliner, as long as you have mascara and a brush, you're good to go. Alright, so we have that eye lined. Not bad. Alright, let's go ahead and do the other one. Oh, too much stuff in my hands. Now I got waterproof mascara all over my eyes. Alright, now that I got the black eyeliner off all over my lid, we're going to try this again. Beautiful thing about makeup is you're painting on your face anyway. So if you make a mistake, you wipe it off and you paint on some more. So, alright. I'm going to dip this sucker in here. See if we can pick up a little bit more mascara. Alright, there we go. Next, we're going to go ahead and apply this Volumous Mascara. I've actually been using this mascara for a really long time, and I really do like it. I have very small eyelashes though, so Oh, I wear falsies a lot. False eyelashes are a girl's best friend, especially when you weren't blessed in the eyelash department. So this is going to take a couple coats. So I'm just going to coat away and probably fast forward you. Okay, we're just going to stop there. I mean, I could keep going and going and going, but I think that's the best we're going to get. I didn't have a L'Oreal eye curler either, so therefore I could not curl them and exaggerate them. So now we're going to finish this look off using Everlasting Plum by L'Oreal. I've never used this lipstick. I've had it for quite a while, but I haven't used it. So we'll see. Here, let's swatch it first. Ooh, that's a pretty, I'd call it almost like a raspberry. I guess if you put enough layers on, it might be a plum. Okay, it's definitely got some purple undertones, so plum's not a bad name for it. I didn't have a lip liner either, so that's why we just went with the lipstick. So overall, I think this look is certainly a glam. I mean, Glamslam for Sam. Well, thank you guys for coming by, and I hope that you will leave your comments below. Let me know if you have any ideas on a video that you would like to see me do. Always open to suggestions. Thank you guys. Bye!